Hey YouTube, thanks for watching my video. As you can see from the pictures, I got a 1,720 pound Harbor Freight trailer here. It's a 4x8 with 13-inch wheels. I got it, I think they're priced at around $350 or so. I used a 20% off coupon. It came around $280 when I went out the door with it. It's before taxes. You pay the taxes when you go and get it registered, which I'm working on. Tomorrow I gotta go get it inspected by State Patrol. Anyways, there's a lot of other videos showing like how to put them together and bolt them together, which that's kind of where I started my video out at, with all the pictures once it was all put together. Then I welded the frame all together and started building the little rail system here with angle iron, and I made the little box for the jerry can with 1.5 inch flat plate steel, 1/8 inch thick. Anyways, I'll start from the front. Got a jack, little Katico box to put storage in. It's bolted down to the little frame I made there. Got the jerry can holder for 5 gallons of fuel for the 4-wheeler. It pops out pretty easy. When I was manufacturing or fabricating this, I didn't have the actual jerry can to measure, so I had to go online and get the measurements and just kind of guess. Once I got it built, it was pretty loose, and then I just went to Home Depot and got this felt lining stuff, which adds probably another 3/4 of an inch altogether around it. So now it fits perfectly in there. The top's a little tight, but once the can's in there, you just can go latch it. I got that from Home Depot for a few bucks, and then you can turn it to lock it in and put a padlock on it if you want. That was actually pretty difficult using just some flat steel for this and trying to get all the bends and everything so it would fit pretty snug in there. And then I just put out some more little pads to make sure that it's not rubbing too much. I had to adjust the light because originally this light went right here, so I had to stretch the cable out, or the wires, a little bit, and I used some like conduit, plastic conduit tubing stuff to put all the wires in to protect from the elements. I got a 3/4 inch pressure treated wood here that I put it's a Behr premium paint, like a concrete resurfacer type deal, or for decks and stuff like that. When I put it on here, I mean, it's okay. You can kind of chip it off, and I think it's going to wear down pretty quick. If I had to do it over again, I probably just would have used this Herculiner to do it because it's a lot more durable and it covers it and it's a little bit more waterproof. But it's already done, so I'll just leave it as is. Another thing, when you're bolting the frame together, or when I was bolting the frame together, there's bolts you can see in there that stick up a little bit. I actually forgot to do it to this one, but I countersunk all of them, so you can see along the rest of the way it's all level and it's smooth. It's smooth. There's no crinkles or anything, except for some reason I forgot to do it right there, so that one's bulged up. But that's not bothering me too much, so maybe later on I'll fix that. But another thing I might do, I got some holes that I put in the right here in the angle iron there. You can see it's kind of hard to see with the glisten. But that's if I want to, later on, if I want to put some plywood sides and fronts on it to carry, trash or something like that, I can do so. What I might do is just get a little 2x4 and put it in the front, so my fire tire will butt right up against it, and then I can just use the winch to anchor it down. So you basically just use the winch to anchor it down. I'll have to use tie downs, but yeah, I might do that. I don't know. Another thing I did was I just used some heavy duty washers. I believe they were 1/2 inch washers. Bent them and I welded them to the frame. They're actually pretty sturdy, a lot more sturdy than I thought they would be. The little spare tire holder, I just used some angle iron and made basically like a T-shape, welded it to the bottom. So you can see there's 3 bolts holding it on. Went and got some new lug bolts to mount it all on there. One thing that I would change if I would have thought about it before I Herculined everything was to add some supports to this, because it's pretty wobbly and you can hear them rattling when you're going down the road. Maybe add like some angle iron with a flat piece over there just to give it a little bit more support, but it's fine. It's not a major thing. So lights, I would probably put another piece of angle iron over the top to protect it, because they're pretty flimsy. I mean, you can just use your one finger and push them. As long as nobody hits them or anything, you should be fine. There's my ramp system. I'll show you that in another video, or not in another video, but I'll pause it and I'll undo it and show you that. But it actually works pretty well, and it was pretty inexpensive, just some 2x8 wood. 13-inch wheels work pretty good. They're 80 psi. They said they're not rated to go over 50 miles an hour, but I was kind of looking into that, and it's a sustained speed of over 50 miles an hour, so you can get them up to 60. I got it up to 70. It didn't have any problems, but as long as you're not going high speed at a sustained amount of time, you should be fine. I did just take it for a little ride on the highway. One thing I noticed is, I don't know if it's just because it's such a small trailer or the tongue's so short, but it's kind of squirrely on the road. But as long as you're not doing any sharp turns, it works. And everything is pretty solid on it, so I don't think I should have any problems. I think overall probably got around 400, a little over 400, maybe around $500 in parts for everything. So give me a second and I'll deploy the ramps there and I'll let you see how that works. And so this little box, it's a little Contico box from Walmart. I was going to use this for a box on top of my four-wheeler. It ended up being too big, so I just had it sitting around in storage. So it actually worked perfect for this. Got a lot of room for storage in the inside. There's a little bar for the stabilizer jacks, which I'll show you in a bit. But there's keys so you can lock it if you want. You put tie downs and camping stuff or whatever you want. And it's all Herculine too. It's got some more lashing points there. If I wanted to just take this off, pop those two bolts off, I could set a cooler on it, use some tie down straps, and strap a big cooler on the front. That way you save some space for the truck. And it's a 2,000 pound, I think 2,500 pound jack. Same thing from Harbor Freight, using the 20% off coupon. I think it was under 20 bucks, but worked pretty good. I welded it on there. You can see my weld. Good thing about this Herculiner is it covered up my nasty bird shit welds that I've been doing on this thing, because it's kind of a learning process with the welder. I got the, of course, Harbor Freight welder, which actually worked pretty good. It's a 90 amp wire feed flux core wire welder, whatever. And it worked pretty good for this whole trailer. The welds have all held pretty well. I haven't had any problems with it. That wire that you get from Harbor Freight is pretty, I wouldn't use it. I had one roll of it that I used, and the welds were real nasty. I went out and bought some, I think it's Miller wire, and it made the welds twice as good as they were with the other old stuff. So, alright, I'll show you the back side now. Okay, another thing I was going to show you guys, if anybody is going to be doing one of these projects, underneath here, this is a tilt trailer. You can use it as a tilt trailer if you want to. I didn't do a very good job of Herculine the bottom here. It was already painted, so I wasn't too worried about it. But I wasn't gonna use it as a tilt trailer because basically it's real rough. If you wanted to tilt it and load a four-wheeler up on it, it was gonna slam down. It felt like I was gonna break everything. So I'm just gonna keep it pinned. I was gonna weld it, but I realized there's no point in welding it. I'll just, keep it as is for now. Maybe later on down the road I'll figure something out. I wanted to put like a piston on it so it would slow it down when you collapsed it with a four-wheeler, but all the pistons I've seen are over $100. It's just not worth it right now. But where it pivots right here, you can see there's a bolt with just one nylon nut is all they give you. There's nothing really from keeping that nut from unscrewing unless you tight it down really tight, which kind of defeats the purpose of a pivot. Maybe it's just something I'm missing there, I don't know. But what I did, I just ground the sides down, drilled a hole through it, and put a pin in it. That way there's no chance of the bolt completely coming off. I did the same thing with that side over there. And that tongue has a little bit of the same problem. If you look right here, you got this bolt, which I can just finger tighten and finger loosen, which is keeping the trailer connected to your truck. And you have to have it kind of loose. For my ball, it's a 2-inch ball. You have to keep it pretty low for it to be able to snap on there. And there was nothing really keeping that bolt from coming off, so I just added a little bit of weld on the side. That way you can't take it off. If I need to undo it later on down the road for some reason, then I'll just cut the complete bolt off. It's not focusing. There we go.
But so if you guys are doing this, make sure you figure that out. I don't know if you want to put a pin through it or to put two nuts on it to lock them in place, but that could be pretty detrimental if you're going down the road and that ball comes off and your whole hitch comes off the trailer. So,
just one thing to consider. All right, so there's the ramp system I got. It's basically just two, I believe they're about 4 foot and a few inches long, 2x8s. I was gonna do a Welda type of ramp system, but then this is just cheaper and easier to do. If they, break down the way, you can go spend $10 at Home Depot and get some new ones. I made some little lips here. 2 bolts are holding them. On the back side, I used some 1.5 inch angle iron. Same as what I did with the rails here, 1.5 inch angle iron by 1/8 inch thick, and just made a little thing there so I can unbolt them if I need to change boards out. They actually worked pretty good. And then just added some on the bottom, little feet that go into the ground instead of the wood getting soaked in the elements. Other thing I did when I was thinking about making it a rooftop temp deal, I got little levels just to make sure that it was kind of level on ground. I might still do that later on if I make it really big. I believe it's going to have to be like 70 something inches up here. Make a little steel frame and then have the rooftop tent over there. But I think those are over $1,000, so that's going to be a ways down the road since my fiance wants me to pay all this money for wedding stuff. Anyways, and when I was going to do the rooftop tent, I realized I needed some supports if I was going to unhook it from the trailer, so I got these little stabilizer jacks, which actually work pretty good for if you want to load it up when it's not hooked to the trailer, or when the trailer's not hooked to the truck. So you just pop those out and then you can load your 4-wheeler up and unload it without worrying about the front end popping up in the air. So, let me know what you guys think. Same thing, if you guys haven't seen my solar generator video, I got a lot of good responses from that for the most part, except for Colorado Fly Fisherman because he's an asshole. But let me know if you guys have any other ideas to add to it or anything helpful. Again, with the solar generator video, I had a lot of input and a lot of good support, and some people gave me some good ideas to fix some problems on there too, pretty detrimental problems actually. So, well, let me know what you guys think. Thanks, bye.